It is absolutely mind-blowing to me that people behind some of the biggest failures we've seen in the video game industry, like Anthem and Dragon Age the Veilguard, are now going on to work at Bethesda on what is supposed to be one of the most expensive video games ever created. But it looks like their past work has not really resonated with anybody, meaning I'm extra worried about the future of Bethesda, but because now they have to give away Dragon Age of Veilguard for free because nobody wanted to buy it. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we have seen so many companies over the years abandon the audiences they once had in order to chase a new modern audience or a global audience, and this never really works out. We saw it happen with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They gave up the amazing Arkhamverse days in order to chase a SJW audience. We saw it happen with games like Dragon Age the Veilguard, and unfortunately for all of these companies, it never really pays off, and I'm glad to see that all of these games have been failures, simply because it means that one day they're going to have to learn their lesson, or they're going to go out of business. They're going to have to go back to those amazing days, or else they're not going to be making any money, and then you can't keep a business with hundreds to thousands of people afloat. Now, we do know that a lot of these people are actually failing upwards because several of the people that worked on Dragon Age the Veilguard and Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda have gone on to work either at Sucker Punch and working on Ghost of Yotei, or even at Bethesda on what seems to be Elder Scrolls 6. I did cover this a few days ago. That video will be linked down below, but even though this game was officially announced 7 years ago, now they're hiring senior quest designers at Bethesda, which seems to be for Elder Scrolls 6, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but this is the same person that had worked on all of these recent BioWare failures, and now it seems that I don't even know if I'd call it an accomplishment. I don't know if anybody on this team truly feels proud of their creation, but their accomplishment is being given away for free, which just adds insult to injury, because back last year, closer to the release of the game, we actually saw Nvidia giving it away for free if you bought like a 6-month subscription to its cloud-based GeForce Now service, and it looks like they are just having to give it away with multiple different purchases. It's going on to Game Pass as if it's going to boost the player numbers. So, after being handed out for free with PlayStation Plus and Game Pass, amongst other offerings, Dragon Age the Veilguard is being handed out for free by Amazon Australia with over 1,000 items. Imagine buying something you're really excited for and then just getting this pile of shit in the same package. I would be offended. Between August 20th and September 2nd, purchasing any of the qualifying items will entitle buyers to a copy of Dragon Age the Veilguard unless they don't want one. Of course, while it's not unusual for games to be handed out for free as part of various offerings, Dragon Age the Veilguard is an outlier in that it bombed harder than we expected, and it definitely did. This is a game that they thought was going to rejuvenate the Dragon Age franchise. They put over 10 years worth of development time into this game. They really thought it was going to be a major win, and of course it wasn't, which you would think a Dragon Age game would be an easy win, but it's like they put the least amount of effort possible into it, and where they did actually try to put a little bit of effort into it, it was into elements people didn't care about, like it appealing to modern audiences, right? Top surgery, scar toggles, having terminology like transgender and non-binary. You have characters where their entire personality really just boils down to their sexuality. It was a cringe fest through and through. The graphics weren't great. The gameplay was okay, I suppose. Most of the areas were really mediocre, and there was not a good storyline, whether it had to do with characters or the main quest you're following. Like, nothing with this game was really good, and that's why it failed, and it disappointed Dragon Age fans, and that's why nobody wanted to buy it. So, because they thought it was going to be such a major success, they printed too many physical copies, and they now have to give them away because Amazon clearly doesn't want these to be in their warehouses anymore, but it's also being given away for free on PlayStation and Xbox Game Pass. This Windows Central article says Xbox Game Pass gets Gears of War Reloaded, Dragon Age, The Veilguard, and more, as if that's the game people would be most excited for. I think people would be more excited for something like Goat Simulator or Blacksmith Master. Definitely not Veilguard, because this game has gone on sale many times. It hasn't even been out for a year yet, and they're just trying to shove it into any person's inventory that they can. And I can't say I'm shocked, because they want to try to buff up the player numbers as much as possible on any platform. And so they figure, well, if we can sit here and give it away for free, that technically means that we can promote these numbers as being higher than they truly were. It's like how games go on to Game Pass day one, and then the companies say, oh, it got 10 million downloads. Well, that's not copies sold, but it's still an inflated number, so it looks better to investors, and that's all they really care about, is protecting their bottom line. So if they want to get more money for more projects in the future, then they have to show that their games are at least getting downloaded. But I would be insulted if one of these services highlighted, oh, all these games are coming to Game Pass. And by the way, one of the biggest that we're talking about is Dragon Age: The Veilguard. It's a terrible game, and even if you can get it for free, I don't even recommend that you play it. That's how bad that it is. It just doesn't offer anything to Dragon Age fans, to fantasy fans. I don't see any appeal in really any element of this game, and I guess if you want it for the laughs, then sure, you can download it, because it's being given away in multiple ways for free now. But I mean, clearly I'm not alone in my absolute hatred for this game, given how bad the scores are and how bad the player counts are now. If we just take a quick peek over on SteamDB, the all-time peak 9 months ago was 89,418, which isn't terrible for a game, but it's still pretty bad for BioWare. But the 24-hour peak is 1,387, and in-game right now is a measly 910 people, and looking at the scores, they're terrible. I mean, Dragon Age of Veilguard over on Metacritic is sitting at an 82 critic and a 3.9 user score. So I'm not alone in my hatred for this game. I am so mad that this is the title we got after waiting 10 years. And it's so bad that they're basically adding insult to injury, where they're giving it away for free. Am I shocked to see this happening? No, eventually a lot of games usually go on sale, but for something like Dragon Age, it should have taken a lot longer, but it didn't, because this game didn't sell because absolutely nobody liked it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.